Yo, it's your boy Mike K. Smith. We're back with another stream. Hope y'all feeling well. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Go follow your boy Mike K. Smith on YouTube for streams. Talking about the WNBA, the NBA, anything basketball related, we will be talking about. And first and foremost, I am flabbergasted. I am really flabbergasted. What the hell is going on when it comes to basketball for us 3-on-3? Whose decision was it to have some of the players that we have on the 3-on-3 teams on both sides? Like we're getting cooked. We are getting cooked in the game of basketball. Think about that. We are getting cooked in the game of basketball. United States on both sides, men's and women's. And I know this was just introduced in 2020 for the competition of 3-on-3 basketball to make it an Olympic game. And maybe that's why the NBA and the WNBA haven't really caught up to speed when it comes to kind of like this competition. And even watching the Olympics, you see some competitions that other countries are necessarily dominating in. And I'm wondering, like, well, how come the U.S. don't have a team for this specific event or this specific category? Like, I want to say handball. Handball is a fun game. Like, the USA team do not have a handball team. But for us as 3-on-3, I feel embarrassed. I feel embarrassed to call myself an American. We're getting cooked in the game of basketball in 3-on-3. And then you're listening to commentators and they're talking about, oh, the USA's problem is isolation. You got to stay away from the isolation. You got to do more team ball movement and pick and rolls. Yes and no. Because when we talk about street ball and we talk about pickup and we talk about style of play, like flair, creation ability, the hezzies, the handles, the tweens, snatchbacks. That's street ball. That's 1-on-1. That's 3-on-3. Like, I am really like confused. Whose idea was it to send some of these players on these rosters to go represent the country for 3-on-3? And now I know the WNBA, they got Hamley, and she replaced Cameron Brink, who suffered an ACL injury. Van Leaf is on there as well. She's playing at LSU. She's going to play at TCU, I believe, this upcoming year. And she's been the only one hooping. She's been the only one hooping for the women's side of the basketball. So they have some hoopers, but like they don't have the right hoopers that really would dominate in the 3-on-3 for USA basketball. And the USA women's team won in 2020, but they had Kelsey Plum was on that team. Who else was on that team? They had a squad. They had some hoopers that was really balling on that 2020 gold medal 3-on-3 team for the ladies side. But I don't really understand. And I'm looking at the rosters for training camp that was selected for this 3-on-3 team. And Brick, who was hurt, Burdick, who's on the team, Hamley, Van Leaf is on the team, Howard, Eliza Baines, Christina, like Kelsey Mitchell. Why was Kelsey Mitchell not selected? A pure bucket, like Camille Zimmerman. Like some of these players like shouldn't even went to the training camp. And then on the men's side, it's even more disappointed than the ladies because at least the ladies captured gold in 2020 and they didn't lose a game. They had Jackie Young was on that team. Kelsey Plum was on that team. But the men's is even embarrassing. They got guys on there that I don't even know. I don't even think have any type of legitimate NBA experience. And it's kind of embarrassing when we're talking about the men's side of basketball. And let's see. Barry Maddox. Never heard of him in my life. Henry Caruso. Never heard of him. Jimmer Fredette is on their team, and he played 6 seasons in the NBA, really didn't have a great, successful NBA career. he's their best player, and he's been hurt the past couple games in the matchups. He hurt his groin. Khalid Iverson, don't know who that is. So when we're talking about 3-on-3 and we're talking about the USA's game for its 3-on-3 basketball, this is embarrassing. Like I said, I don't know none of these players on the men's side. Like none of these players other than Jimmer Fredette has had NBA experience. Why are we sitting players to represent our country just because they participated in training camps? And that's the marketability standpoint when I'm talking about for the 3-on-3 not being necessarily market the right way for people to come and participate, or for stars to come and participate. We're only marketing the 5-on-5 for us, like to go capture gold for us, the women's side and the men's side. But this is really embarrassing. I am, like, once again, I am flabbergasted. I'm in a loss for words, and the excuses that people are coming up with, saying like it's no 3-pointers. Well, technically it is 3-pointers. If you shoot a 3, you get 2 points. That's street ball. That's playing on the street. Everybody know that. Why is that like a big thing? Like, oh, there's no 3-pointers. Woo! Like, oh my God! Like, that makes no sense. It doesn't matter because like everybody knows street balls is 1s and 2s. Like you gotta bring some. I can go find probably. I kid you not. I probably can go find some of the best high school basketball players in the world right now, 3-on-3, and they will have a better chance in competing and winning at the Olympics gold, winning the Olympics gold for Team USA for basketball. This is embarrassing. We've gotten far away from like what it means to play 3-on-3, what it means to like actually hoop. You can't bring guys out there on the basketball court. I see Serbia, who is I think ranked number 2 overall for 3-on-3, and they got China is out there. So some countries have had the same teams for its 3-on-3 for a while now and been practicing together. But basketball is basketball. And if you bring your best players and your most talented players, especially in the street ball style game, then they're going to dominate. They're going to show up and they're going to cook. That's what 1-on-1 is about, cooking. That's what 3-on-3 is about, cooking your man, isolation. No screens attached. Your man is on an island. I'm watching the USA game. They got guys on an island. They can't even do nothing. And now it's not your standard check the ball up. It's if you score the ball, you take it out the basket, you pass to your team, behind the line, and then you go. So it's 10 minutes, 1s and 2s. We know that. And people are going to say, well, it's a formula that you have to do. You have to participate in the training camps in order to go out and play in 3-on-3. And also you can't participate if you're selected in 3-on-3, you can't participate in the 5-on-5. So that leaves the roster, quote unquote, kind of hard. That's what people are saying. But that's an excuse. It's 3-on-3 basketball. Anything that's basketball, the United States we're supposed to dominate. We're supposed to be the best in. Whereas the women's side, whereas the men's side. So I like Haley on that team. She's the only one I like. Hamley that plays for the Sparks, she's not getting it done. She's been getting cooked out there. Jimmer Fredette, even when he was playing, he was getting cooked. The rest of these guys on the team, Maddox, cooked. Like, I don't even know these guys. So it's crazy. So this is the formula for success for 3-on-3 going forward. And I'm gonna lay it out there for you guys. The formula of success is 1 college star, 1 rookie, 2 NBA players. That's the formula to success. None of these guys that nobody's heard of. None of these guys that the women's side, they got a woman that hasn't played in the WNBA since like 2019. Why is she on the roster? She should not be participating. So that's the formula for 3-on-3 going forward in the Olympics. We can't be embarrassed like this because the men's team and the women's team haven't even won a game. 1 college star, 1 rookie, 2 NBA players or 2 WNBA players. That is the formula. I'm not talking about WNBA players that like some WNBA players with like some cachet, some NBA players with some cachet or game that will fit the street ball style. You put Bones Highland on that team, Bones Highland is cooking everybody. Bones just dropped 53 points in a pro-am. Put him in a 3-on-3 and let him represent our country. That's what his game is about, street ball, flair, creation, handle ability, get him to the rim, put him on an island, get him cooked. He could have been on that roster. Austin Reeves, he could have been on that roster. Rob Dillingham, college star, a rookie. Reed Shepard, Cooper Flagg, like Ben Carroll. Like we got players that could have been on this 3-on-3 roster. And if they would have participated in training camp and they could have did that this past season, that would have been fine. Women's side, Juju Watkins, cooking. Put them girls on the island getting cooked. Kennedy Carter, put them on the island getting cooked. Caitlin Clark could have participated. Angel Reeves, Camilla, like Aaliyah Boston, Flage. One college player, one rookie, 2 NBA stars or 2 WNBA stars need to participate for the WNBA. All those players that I mentioned, put them on an island they are cooking. Not having these guys that nobody has heard of participate for 3-on-3 and represent our country so we can be embarrassed out there in the sport of basketball. Like, I'm not talking about archery, and shout out to the archery squad. We just won bronze. But I'm not talking about a sport where, most Americans don't gravitate towards like other countries. I'm talking about basketball. It's no reason why in the game of basketball in 3-on-3, the men's side and the women's side, we should be getting embarrassed the way we are. We are getting cooked. Once again, I am flabbergasted. It is insane. It is so embarrassing. Like, in the formula of success, I get it about the training camp. You had to participate. You had to participate in the training camp. And if you play in 3-on-3, you don't make it. You can't be on the national team for it's a 5-on-5. That is fine. It's too many. We got too many talented players in the WNBA and the NBA, and also at the college ranks that can go and represent the country, even if they don't participate on the 5-on-5 team. All those players that I mentioned that could have played for the men's side with the formula and the women's side with the formula I stated, and I'm going to state it again. One college star, Cooper Flagg, could have been on the team. One rookie, Robert Dillingham, could have been on the team. If you want to go from this past year, you could have put Scoot Henderson on the team. Like 2 NBA players, Ben Carroll, Austin Reeves, Bones Highland, like they're all cooking in 3-on-3. And it's not even funny. Like we can't get to a point where we're getting embarrassed in anything in basketball. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just can't happen. Women's side, Juju Watkins is cooking anybody on the 3-on-3 level. Kennedy Carter, Chicago Sky, quickest first step in the league. Ain't nobody guarding her. Paige, Becker, UConn, ain't nobody guarding her. Flage, LSU, ain't nobody guarding her. Aaliyah Boston in the post, she's getting busy. Angel Reeves getting busy. Like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and it can't happen again. And I hope going forward that we send the right teams to dominate in 3-on-3 basketball. And I know it's a new event, but even though it's being a new event, it's still no excuse. And even though it may not have been marketed to the NBA players or the WNBA players or even the college stars, but it needs to be, because in the next 4 years, when we go out in LA, we better represent not just for the national teams, for the 5-on-5 teams, but also for the 3-on-3 teams as well. Because it can't that can't fly. We out here getting cooked by guys nobody even know, and we out here having people represent our country with the USA with the USA on the jersey that don't even play in the WNBA. Jimmer Fredette ain't played in the NBA in years. Don't play in the WNBA or in the NBA. He ain't participated in a NBA game in years, and he played 6 seasons in the league. It's why is he on the roster? I'm sorry. I know he dominated in China and what he doing and stuff like that, but he shouldn't be on the roster. Like, Pat Beverly just signed a deal to go play overseas. They could have had Pat Beverly come and participate in 3-on-3. At least he's still been in the league for a while. We got guys in the 3-on-3 Ice Cube's league that are playing overseas and participating in a 3-on-3 league format that could go out and really dominate and represent it. And that's just me being real. even though some of those guys are retired, but we got guys that's not retired. They just participate in 3-on-3 and they're participating overseas. But we can't get in a street ball style game and get destroyed when we got hoopers that in the league right now whose game is predicated off of handle, flair, creation ability. Rob Dillingham in 3-on-3, Bones Highland Jr. 3-on-3, Austin Reeves, like Jalen Green. Like what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like Juju Watkins is so better than anybody that's playing right now in the 3-on-3 format for the ladies game. It's so embarrassing. Like why don't we have our real hoopers? Like you gotta, and people hate on pure hoopers. People hate on like the guys who specialize in putting the ball in the bucket because they say they don't produce or they can't be number one options. But the game is always about getting buckets. And at the end of the day, if you're playing any street ball style format, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, you need guys that can create off the dribble and can put a guy on the island and go to work. Make them touch earth. Get busy. It's no reason why we should have the players that we have participating, representing Team USA on both sides. And we're 0-4 right now. 0-4. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to read this right. Jimmer Fredette, Dylan Travis. These are guys that participated in the 3-on-3 training camp. Kareem Maddox, like Barry. I don't even Kenyon Barry. I don't know none of these guys. None of them have a ton of NBA experience. Like Jimmy Fredette's last stint was in 2019 with the Phoenix Suns. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. Justin Hamilton. I don't get it. Glenn, Dan Rich Jr. Who the hell are these guys, man? Like the mark, and that's when we talk about the USA and the marketability and sometimes the lack thereof, or the politics, because a guy like Bones Highland Jr. right now is one of the coldest hoopers in the NBA, but he's struggling to find a placement in the league right now because of his play style, because of his, like, he's not good enough necessarily to be a starter, but he's also probably not good enough to be a first player off the bench to some teams, because of he can't necessarily fit the role, but his role is to get buckets. That's his role. But unfortunately, we know how it is as a role player. If you get cast as a role player, you got to be good at shooting. You got to be good at playmaking. You got to be good at defense. You can't just be – they're trying to almost try to take the sixth man out the league in a sense. But, like, there's still guys in the league right now that can represent this country and play USA basketball and be on a 3-on-3 team that would dominate and bring excitement and flair. Because even watching the game, watching the USA team play, it was embarrassing because it was no excitement, it was no flair, it was no style. It was just these guys catching and shoot and setting pick and rolls. And that's not 3-on-3. That's not 2-on-2. That's not 1-on-1. 1-on-1 is all about creation ability. 1-on-1 is all about scoring. 1-on-1 is about making your defender touch earth, getting by them, and getting your moves off. It's too many talented NBA players, college NBA players that would dominate in this format that it makes no sense why we have guys that aren't as good as the players that I mentioned, or aren't as good and don't deserve to represent that USA across their chest to be on this roster. Because when in the game of basketball, the USA men's and women's synonymous for being the best. Even if they want to say that the world is caught up, they ain't caught up that much. And they damn sure ain't caught up in 3-on-3, 1-on-1, 2-on-2. Because that's hoopers. That's pure hoopers. That's what we about. Like I said, I can go find the best high school basketball players in the world right now and put them on a USA team, and you put them in training camp a couple months and let them play off to each other and stuff like that. They cooking. They getting busy. So it's just like in a 3-on-3 format, you got commentators talking about, well, they have to stay away from isolation. That lets me know that they don't even know what they're watching. They don't even know anything about the nuances of 3-on-3 basketball, because 3-on-3 basketball is all about isolation. Two in the corner, one in the middle. Pass the ball, you go cook them. Even if you want to do pick and roll and stuff like that, which is fine, you definitely can do that and switch mans and stuff like that. They're just gonna most times the defenders are gonna switch anyway. But if you can't create off the dribble and get to the rim in a half court setting or create your own shot, and that's why in the playoffs when we see things and players kind of struggle when the game slows down, because you have to have players that can create for themselves and also create for others. But in the NBA, where there's too many talented guys that can participate in 3-on-3 and represent the country in 2028, because it's over with. They're not, neither the men's or women's team is gonna medal, but can participate and get busy and get buckets and go out and represent this country and dominate the game. Like Jeremy Grant's a guy that I think about with the Portland Trailblazers that would be unstoppable. Simons for the Portland Trailblazers would be unstoppable. LaMelo Ball, unstoppable. Like we really got to talk about it. Like it's too many players. Zach LaVine, unstoppable. Like, and maybe you can't get some of these guys to participate because it's the summer, but I think some of these guys, even if it's not the star caliber players, even if it's just your typical starters, like a Kyle Kuzma would have came to Paris and dominated. Kyle Kuzma would have been a perfect player on this roster. He would have cooked in 3-on-3. Jordan Poole would have cooked in 3-on-3. Austin Reeves would have cooked in 3-on-3. So it's really no excuse. Kelsey Mitchell from the Fever would have cooked. Kennedy Carter, Chicago Scott would have cooked in 3-on-3. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Ari McDonald for the Los Angeles Sparks would have cooked in 3-on-3. But instead, we got players representing this country in 3-on-3 that ain't played in a while, and some don't even got league experience. It makes no sense.